Well, the Sugarloaf Marathon was yesterday, and let me tell you that everything went super smoothly. The weather was phenomenal, and it was brutal. But first, the question I've been asking for the past 18 weeks has been, can I run a sub-4 hour marathon? Can I, as a 48-year-old grandmother, train myself to run a 6 minute, 29-second PR and complete 26.2 in under 4 hours? Now, I'll answer that in just a few minutes. But first, I want to recap my final taper week and the race itself. So, in my last video, I discussed all the issues plaguing my training, my posterior chain issues, my calf cramping, and my troublesome pelvic tilt, which all seemed to improve over my taper, and with some daily mobility work and a lot of focused pre-run warm-ups. I was running pretty smoothly by the final week, which was great. And then something else happened. So, 1 week before the marathon, my mother in law was moved to hospice, and on Wednesday, she passed away. So, this obviously is an emotional time, and it impacted my schedule as well as my sleep. However, my husband and I decided that I would still run the marathon. We had rented an Airbnb along the course, and my kids and my grandson were all coming up to see the race. So, we decided it was good family time and that we should continue with that plan. So on Saturday morning, I ran my final shakeout run, which felt great, and we headed up to Carrabassett Valley. So race morning went off without a hitch. Being along the course meant an extra hour of sleep, not that I slept very well, and everything went so smoothly. And then the race. So let's talk about the Sugarloaf Marathon for just a second. So first, it is the most beautiful race I have ever run. Yes, even more so than the Mount Desert Island Marathon, despite what Runner's World might say. MDI is beautiful from a drone, but not from this runner's perspective. Second, Sugarloaf is an open road course. It starts just 6 miles south of the Canadian border and it runs straight down Highway 27 through valley lakes and mountains and along the Carrabassett River. It is all so beautiful and simple. There are no turns, no out and backs, just a straight line following one road and most of it down a winding river. It is a net downhill course with only climbs between miles 5 and 10. Yes, you're in the mountains, but you start relatively flat and have just a few climbs at miles 5, 7, the biggest one between 8 and 9, another small one at 10, and then you bomb downhill for most of the remainder. Fourth, it is a small race. 561 people started the marathon this year. And finally, it is typically gorgeous, perfect weather, mid 50s, overcast. This year, however, was different, and it was a beautiful, perfect top 10 day. So now on to the race. The good. The start of the race was a beautiful 60 degrees, and it started right on time with no issues. I headed out a little further back than I probably should have, but I quickly found my group and everything went really well. So we were pacing perfectly, hitting 8:58, 8:58, 9:01, 8:55, 8:58. And it was funny at mile 3 when my watch reminded me to eat, I noticed everyone else in the group grabbed their gel or bottle and ate at the exact same time. So I knew I had found my people. We were all trained together. The bad. It was around mile 6 that things started getting really rough. First, I was hot and I was parched. I normally don't take water so early in a race, but knew it was too hot to not hydrate early and often, so I started drinking, which then caused the dreaded splashing stomach and the sharp pains. But I pushed through for a little bit. It was also at this time that we started noticing sirens and emergency vehicles flying both back and forth along the course. So clearly something was not right. Now, remember when I said the weather is typically perfect? However, this year it was different and it was a gorgeous top 10 day. Yeah, it was. It was 77 degrees, dry, no humidity, and sunny, not a cloud in the sky. Perfect weather for everyone not running a marathon. For those of us who trained in Maine, our bodies were used to 48 to 52 and overcast or raining. Our bodies were absolutely not acclimated to 77, dry, and blazing sunshine. I knew I was in trouble around mile 9, but held on through mile 10.
You're doing great.
You look awesome.
Run for the camera.
Halfway. Keep going. Well, then I'm just going to have to run with you.
She looks so good.
10. So the ambulances, fire department, and EMS vehicles became much more prevalent. I actually witnessed a man walk off the course and literally just lay down on the ground. Fortunately, EMS was right there. I saw 2 delirious men, one stumbling right out into the middle of the road while still trying to run, and one who veered into a stream, laid in it, and then started trying to drink from it with his head in the water. Fortunately, my nurse daughter-in-law was there to help him up and get him a bottle of water. It was carnage. Of the 561 that started the race, 497 finished. 64 DNF'd. That's 12%, or 4 times the average. So after mile 10, I knew I had a choice: try to push through and risk blowing up like all these other people, or go slow and steady and focus on hydration.
Yeah! Woo! Top of the hill! Top of the hill!
I opted for the latter. So if you've made it this far, you've probably already figured out that I did not run a Sub-4 marathon, nor did I PR. I finished the race in 4 hours, 53 minutes, and 57 seconds. And I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked when I crossed the line and saw that the timer started with a 4, because I was sure I was nearing the 6-hour mark. So the question was, can I run a Sub-4 marathon at 48? And the answer is yes, I actually think I can. But did I? Absolutely not. So I'm running the Montreal Marathon in October, and I think I'm going to focus on getting strong and enjoying the race. But maybe next year I'll try again. So Sub-4 is still the goal. Keep on running, everyone.